Hello, Nityananda, and I'm wishing you blissfulness. I'm making this video today because I had this horrendous dream, and it's about 4 o'clock right now in the morning, and I woke up at 3 in tears, bawling, and I haven't cried like that since my depression days. So I knew that I had to do something about it. I was crying, so I came to the bathroom, went pee, and I drew the entire, scenario, the one snapshot of my dream. And what it was that my family, my family that was living in a ranch, and they were just trying to make money, trying to feed their family. So one of them was a cat breeder, and the other one was a bull rider. And throughout their career, they had some failures and success and whatnot, which we all do. But I walked into a section of the ranch, and I told my mom, where are the kittens? The kittens, because I want to see the kittens. So she showed me where the kittens were, and they were feeding. And at the moment, I looked up, and there were cages. They were V-shaped cages that had the mother cat, inside of the cage, and it was blocked off to where the cage could not, or the cat could not move outside of the cage. I'm gonna open the door because it sounds really echoey to me. So, like I was saying, the cages were in a V shape, and the nipples of the mom were down under the cage, or peeking out of the cage, so that the kittens could come by here. Here you go. So that the kittens could come by and feed. And I noticed that the cats' heads were like this, but permanently, because it was such a squished cage. And they were really big. They were really, really, really big cats. So that really broke my heart. But right underneath it, in the next room, I saw my cousin, I think it was, who was bull riding. He was practicing his bull riding, and in that same room right next to him, he had another cage of a couple other bulls. And they were huge. They were beautiful. They had luxurious hair. They were healthy. And I felt really happy at a moment, and then I thought to myself, how do they get so big? So I was wondering what they feed them, and I looked to the side, and I saw a cow hanging up from the top of, so the cat was up here, the cats were up here, and right underneath it, there was this big ledge, and I don't know what they're called, but they're like circles, and a hook goes around them. So right underneath the cats there were those, and what was hooked into them were latches of what supported the cow. And it was such a disturbing image to see, but I saw it and I could never get rid of it, so I'm going to make do with it. And if you go further down the latch, it's the cow's head that was one of the middle that was supporting the cow was right through its mouth. So they fed it. They fed it while it was there, but they had to hand feed it because my family amputated all of the limbs so that it was dependent, and so that it could stay in that same area and gain weight and just hang there for the nipples to be exposed and for the calves to eat. And that was the only reason that they were there, was so that they can eat, for the bulls to get strong and healthy, to grow up and be a bull so that my cousin can ride them. And it was a really sick image. It was a really, really sick image. And I grabbed my mom because she was the one who was amputating all of their limbs. And I grabbed her shoulders and I put her right in front of the cow. And I said, look at that life. Look at that life. To wake up and to go to sleep as that, living like that all the time. And she responded to me, yeah, it's a sucky life, but hey. And I looked into the cow's eyes, and you can tell, have you ever just looked at somebody who had enormous sorrow or anger or whatever emotion that they had? You can just see it and feel it by looking in their eyes. So that's what I did. And right after I saw the cow's eyes, I woke up crying and crying and crying. Which I said before that I haven't cried like that in a very, 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 very long time. So I was wondering, why in the hell did I have that dream after I drew it up? And right before I went to sleep, I told myself, okay, well, no, that's mine. Your food is over here. You want your food? I told myself that, okay, God put my mind in this body so that they can work together. And I was okay with that, because beforehand, I never really listened to my body. Anytime that I was sick or I had pain or anything that was going on with my body, I would ignore it, and I would focus on my mind, on my mental state, and why I felt that way and how I can change it. So I focused on my mind a lot, but I realized that I needed to start listening to my body, because there's been a lot of times where I haven't gotten the right amounts of nutrients that I needed, and I would get sick, but it didn't really ring any bells for me. And now I'm pregnant, and I have to listen to my body. I have to do these things where I sit down and I ask myself, why in the hell am I feeling nauseous? Well, I'm hungry. What can I eat that's going to give me the right nutrients? Not what am I going to eat that tastes good or looks good right now. So before I went to bed, like I said, I was okay with my mind and body corresponding with one another. But after I drew that image, I then saw that my mind, let's start here, my body can control my mind if I want it to, if I allow it to. But vice versa, my mind can control my body if I allow it to. So if we think about it the first way, if my body controls my mind, then that means that I'm acting on my body. And that's the grounding state where we have all of these emotions, right? We have, say I feel angry, so I act on it. Or I feel sorrow or depression, and I act on those. Well, even if I don't act on them and I hold them in, it's gonna explode eventually, whether I like it or not. So I think the best scenario would be to let it out, to handle it in a right way. But a lot of times when we have negative emotions, we react negatively, we act aggressively. And also with the mind, if I'm able to have anger and take a deep breath and tell myself, why the hell am I angry? Why am I this mad that my body is just pumping? You know, when you get that mad and it's just going and going and going. So if I step back and think about why, think about what I'm doing, or also having consideration, because consideration was not a strong suit of mine. And I'm trying on that, and I'm working on it, and I'm improving. But there's only room to grow. So this dream that I had, we weren't acting, my family wasn't acting very considerate, which in the long run was me. I'm not acting very considerate. And instead, my family was only acting upon their greed, just wanting to succeed, just wanting to make money for their family, and not having consideration of the other animals' feelings or emotions or overall their well-being and their lifestyle. So I know that my dreams, anything that we go around, we walk out the door and say I go walk my dogs and I see something, that's just a reflection of me. So I'm able to realize myself what I'm doing or what I'm doing wrong, and how I can fix that. So if we think thousands of years ago, if I wanted to be greedy and we want meat or something, we would have to create an alliance with that creature. We would have to be able to connect with the creature, so that the creature was healthy rather than depressed or staying in a little slot that can never move so that it gains weight. You're just getting depression, and then you eat that, you're eating depression. Or if we want milk, we have to go to an animal to milk it, but we need an alliance with that. We can't act on domination, otherwise it's going to get into that food supply that we're eating, and it's only going to be absorbed inside of us. So we are going to take on those feelings that other creature was having. And I realize that this is a big problem for me because I don't eat meat, but the times that I do eat meat, I'm sorry, there's hair everywhere. And it's getting all over right here. I think it's because I had the cat so close to me. But anyways, I didn't eat meat, and the times that I did eat meat, it was Taco Bell. That's my weakness, is Taco Bell. I freaking love Taco Bell. But that's not okay. That's just me being greedy. That's me being selfish because I like it. But little do I know where the hell this meat comes from. When I was younger, I used to call it meat soup, and I was okay with it. And then I saw that they were hiring, and I told Zach, I don't want to work there because it might ruin my appetite for Taco Bell. And with milk, I don't drink milk from animals, but I do eat cottage cheese or sour cream, or cheese. I even have cheese. So my dilemma is that I was reading this pamphlet, and it was talking about the nutrients that I needed for the pregnancy, and one of the categories was dairy, and one of the other one was protein, but that's fine. I can get protein from nuts and beans, but with dairy, I don't know if I'm going to set up an appointment to see if I can work around that, or if I have to get plant-based dairy products. So I know they have this cheese for, I don't know. Anyways, so overall, I just wanted to make this video because we need to look at what we're doing and be considerate. and by we I mean me. I just ask you to join me. Thank you.